What do you think the biggest area of concern right now is for this team, Anthony?
Right now, the biggest area of concern is the fact that this team keeps finding ways to lose. But that said, whether it's defense, offense, whatever it is, that said, for me, offensively, yesterday in particular, and Louis actually touched on it there in his presser, he said that, most of the guys went up there and had a good approach. Most of the guys put together good at-bats. Well, that's not good enough. When you're facing a guy like that, in a situation like that, where the bullpen is clearly the weakest part of that team, and you have one of their better starters on the mound, he's the best pitcher that's going to throw for them yesterday, that day. You have to go in with a game plan where everybody is on board to not just take pitches. That's not what I'm talking about. But at least work counts, get the right pitches and swing at the right pitches and really make him work out there and get him out of there in 5-6 innings so you can see that bullpen for at least 3, hopefully 4 innings, maybe more. That would be great. The problem was there were some guys that went up there and didn't follow that recipe.
Steve, you've talked to these players about the issues they've been having with runners in scoring position. You've talked about it extensively on the game broadcasts. Do the concerns in that regard compound as time goes on?
There's a line of thinking, especially in the analytics community, about runners in scoring position kind of being a lucky thing, that it all evens out in the end. And to an extent, I'm sure that there is something to that. But what Michael Conforto said is that, in these situations sometimes you have a tendency to try and do too much and to get out of your approach. And what that means is that they're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. And so early on, maybe it was just a few game type of deal that doesn't really matter. But as the year goes on and the questions continue to get asked, it's only natural then for you coming up to the plate, you see a runner at second, you start to think about, oh man, here we go again, I got to drive this runner in, and you're not staying within yourself.
Harp, what's your biggest area of concern with this team right now?
Well, my answer for that, Doug, would be, is there an area that's not a concern right now, really? I mean, you look at it from up and down. Base running has been brutal. Defense has been really bad. The starting rotation, definitely not good enough without DeGrom, with the way Matz is going. Even the bullpen hasn't been terrible, but it's killed them in big spots. Even Lugo, the guy one guy you thought could be dependable, has been hurting them in some big spots. And then it gets, as these guys were saying, and Anthony was saying, situational hitting. I mean, look, they're getting hits, they're getting on base, but the situational hitting, they're lowest in the league in runners in scoring position. But I think the bottom line is the worst part of it is the starting rotation. They have a 5.54 ERA, the starting rotation. Worst, I think it's second worst maybe in the National League. And I just don't see how you're going to change that, because who's going to fill in these spots? Rojas hasn't committed to Matz yet his next turn. Well, who's going to take that turn? There just aren't enough quality pitchers in their system to even think about that. So I guess it's got to be starting pitching.